Hey, what's up, guys? As a follow up to the shop tour video, which I'll put on the screen at the end in case you want to check that out and you haven't, I thought I'd give you 5 tips that I learned in my first year starting a woodworking business and a few mistakes I made, plus a bonus tip at the end. And here's a few spoilers for you. You don't need a perfect shop, you don't need every tool. What you do need is the right mindset. This isn't about cutting corners, it's about being intentional. So let's go. All right, tip number one, start with what makes money. Now, hold on, I know that may sound controversial, but let me explain. You want to build things off the bat that people already want. Because when you're starting this up on a budget, and if you've watched any of my videos, you know I'm the budget guy. But if you're starting this on a budget, you need cash flow coming in for more materials, for more clamps, or whatever else that you may absolutely need to keep going. Doing this will get your momentum rolling quicker. You'll be in a better mindset, you'll be more positive, and you'll feel better about what you're doing, regardless of your skill level. Now, that could be tables, small furniture, planters, birdhouses, shelves, whatever it may be. Now, when I started, I wanted to build custom furniture pieces. The problem was, nobody knows who I am, and I didn't have any clients. So I stalled out from the get-go for a while. And then I started thinking, well, maybe I need to just do something and see what happens. So I started making little crafts and things that were smaller and simpler, but were in high demand at my local vendor shows and even in a vintage market that we put a booth in. So find out what sells in your area, what's within your skill range when you start off, which that will get better the more you go, and build that. Now, I'm going to give you a couple examples. I'm not saying these are what you got to do starting off, but these are what got my ball rolling, so to speak. Planter boxes. I know everybody builds them. A lot of people build the same ones. I did a video last week on those, but they sell in my area, especially in the springtime, and I was able to sell them well at some vendor markets also. Give you one more. These things. What is that, you may ask? That's a Scrabble tile made out of cedar fence pickets. You get a whole bunch of them out of one 8-foot cedar fence picket. Not something I had on my radar, not something I wanted to do. I saw it on Etsy one day and went, that looks pretty simple. These things here paid my booth rent at our vintage market that we had a booth at. Then everything else was gravy. So start with things that make money, get your ball rolling. That's tip number one. All right, tip number two, buy tools to solve problems. Not brands, not the YouTube hype, not even what your neighbor has. Buy the tools that you need at the time to get the job done. Now, I'm not going to lie, this was a big challenge for me. I, of course, wanted all the biggest, baddest of every tool I could have. I've got budget friendly, what I actually need, and even hand-me-downs from my father-in-law, but they all get the job done. But I will tell you, my wife had to talk me off the ledge a few times when we were getting started. And I'm thankful for that now. I was kind of grumpy and whined a lot at the time. Buy tools when the work requires it, and let the projects justify the purchases. For example, my table saw. Now, I have a job site table saw. It was on sale at Lowe's. That's what I got. Would I love to have a professional cabinet grade saw, a saw stop, or something like that? Sure, I would. But nothing I've made so far has justified having one. And there's nothing that I've made, nothing at all, and I've built a wide range of things that my table saw couldn't handle. If a tool doesn't help you finish a job or make you money, it can wait. Tip number three, your shop doesn't need to be pretty. Now, do we all want a shop that is massive and custom built with everything shiny and new and state of the art equipment and lighting? I would say most of us probably do if we were being honest or had the chance to have it. But look, my dusty garage, your smelly basement, or your neighbor's ugly shed will work just fine, though you may want to check with them first. Don't run yourself crazy trying to be pretty, especially at first. Your hard earned money is better spent on wood or needed tools and things to advance your business forward. Typically, clients don't care what your shop looks like, they care what you deliver to them. Tip number 4: price for sustainability, not for speed. Well, I'm glad you asked. Look, I understand that we want to be compensated highly for what we spend our time and our energy on. I get that. But after 21 years of managing multi-million dollar retail stores and 7 years of owning a pretty successful business until I recently had to close it due to back and knee issues, I can tell you this about selling things. A product is worth what people are willing to pay for it, not what you think it's worth. Now, don't shortchange yourself, price fairly, and stay in line with the competitive market around you. And do your research because that's different everywhere. But build your margins in slowly. The more you do things, the more refined your products look, and the nicer the things you're selling get, the more you can slowly start to charge more and more. Not to mention, people need to know who you are. When you get your name out there, especially in your local area, they're going to be willing to pay a little more for your items and your products. Remember, the goal is not to get rich fast, it's to build something that lasts. All right, one more left, and then that bonus tip. So, tip number 5: stay debt free if at all possible. Now, I get some people are already shaking their heads and they're saying, that's not how you start a business. That's not how it even works. Or that's not even possible. Well, not to argue with you, but the answer to both those things is that it absolutely is, because I've done it twice. That's not a flex, that's just a fact. But I want you to look at this from not a dollars and cents perspective, but from a heart and head perspective. The facts are this: debt adds pressure. It adds pressure to yourself, to your health and well-being. It adds pressure to your family. Statistics show that the number one cause of divorce in America is money problems and money fights and money arguments. That's just reality, and that's the way it is. Slow growth is safer. You can learn to be more comfortable where you're at. It just makes woodworking more enjoyable. It takes that pressure off, so you don't feel the need to have to keep performing and keep producing at a high rate when you're not prepared for it yet. Look, all of our skills get better the further we go along, and we all start in different places. So don't put that extra burden on yourself. It's okay to grow a little slower and learn as you go through and do it. And peace of mind matters. You simply just can't enjoy building things if the only thing that matters about what you're doing and the only thing you're worried about the whole time is the dollars. That's just the way it is. You want to enjoy the woodworking. You want to be passionate about what you're creating. And yeah, you need to make money if that's your business, especially if that's your main stream of income. But if you don't enjoy it and you hate it, you might as well go work somewhere else and hate it there and save the money. All right, fellas, bonus tip time. Pray about it before doing it. So this one is personal to me. As a Christian man, that my household and my businesses are centered around my faith, I pray about every big decision before doing it. And not just once, but for a while. And starting a business, I think, is a pretty big decision. I've found that in my life, in the past, when I make decisions on my own without giving the time for God to lead me, things just don't seem to work out well. I did that for too many years, and I would like to think that I've learned my lesson. All right, guys, before I go, I'd like to ask a question. What practical tips do you have for starting a woodworking business? Leave them all in the comments, and if I get enough of them, I'll make a follow-up video and even give you credit for them. even if you don't agree with me, because that's okay too. Let's recap, and then I've got one final thought. Number one, start with what makes money. Number two, buy tools to solve problems. Number three, your shop doesn't need to be pretty. Number four, price for sustainability, not speed. Number five, stay debt free if all possible. My bonus tip, always pray about it before you do it. Now, look, building a small business, any size business, a woodworking, or heck anything, is not easy. It's hard, no matter how you choose to go about doing it. Keep in your mind, it's not about perfection, it's about purpose. We'll talk to you later.